Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to do batik, a traditional Indonesian wax resist dyeing method. The first things that you'll need are fabric. Canvas or muslin work best, but you can also do this technique on clothing, shirts, or even fabric shoes. Tape, scissors, board, a pencil, a Sharpie, and some newsprint for your design. The first step is to cut out the piece of fabric that will become your final piece. Then, on your newsprint, you can start drawing the design that you want to use in pencil. I'm doing an elephant. This design is too simple though. This one looks much better. Detail works well, but anything with too much detail will be too complicated to paint in wax. This is just detailed enough. Once you're finished with the pencil drawing, it's time to outline the entire sketch in Sharpie. This is so that you can transfer it to fabric. If you're using a thinner fabric like muslin, you can just lay it on top of your drawing and trace in pencil right onto it. For thicker fabrics like canvas though, you'll need sunlight from the window in order to trace. Here I have my tape, my fabric, and I tape my design to the window. Next, you'll need to tape your fabric onto the window over your design. Then, you can trace your design onto the fabric in pencil. If it's still hard to see through, use your hand to push the fabric up against your drawing as you move along. You don't have to get everything, just trace the important lines for now. Here are my important lines. You can go in with your pencil and add in all the details. Next, you need to stretch your fabric onto a board. First, tape one side of your fabric down, then pull an opposite corner while you tape, to ensure that you'll have a stretched fit. Remember to always pull the fabric as you tape, and keep doing this until all sides are taped down. Now it's on to the fun part, the wax. For this step, you'll need melted wax and a paintbrush, preferably an old sickly one, since wax and paintbrush bristles are generally not friends. Be careful with this step though. Both the wax and the tray that the wax is melting on will be very, very hot. Never use your fingers to take a cup of wax back to your work table. Always use a clothespin to pick it up and carry it. Be careful while traveling with hot wax across the room. It's easy to accidentally tilt and spill, and although it isn't necessarily the end of the world if you spill it on the ground or table, it's annoying if you spill it on your design, and it will leave a burn if you spill it on yourself or others. Once you're ready to start, dip your brush in the wax and paint it onto your design. Remember, everywhere where you paint wax, it will be the color of your fabric. You can use your brush to kind of scoop the wax and paint in short strokes. For my design, I'm covering all of my lines in wax. Redip your brush often, as dry wax won't take to the fabric. Since the wax is clear, it's kind of hard to see where you've already painted it. Here's a close-up so you can see what it looks like. So far, I put wax on the outline of the elephant, but nowhere else. You definitely don't want to forget to wax an area. When wax starts drying and collecting at the end of your paintbrush, use your fingers to pull it off and put the wax back into the cup. When the wax in your cup starts cooling off and hardening, it's time to get up and switch it out for a new cup. Once again, be careful with your wax. Here you can see where I accidentally spilled some hot wax on my design. Luckily, it's not on the elephant, but since I can't get it out, I have to own my mistake and turn it into part of the design somehow. I decided to make the whole background look like wax dots and splatter. Although it's not ideal, mistakes happen and you just have to make it work and move on. Once you've finished with the wax and let it dry, it's time to add the dye. You'll need a plate, dye or ink, a cup of water, and a fresh paintbrush. I've decided to paint my background black. To do this, you need to put a tiny amount of the colored dye you want on your plate, and then use your paintbrush to dilute it with lots and lots and lots of water. There's my black. Now for the elephant. I decided to paint him maroon. You want to be very selective about the colors you use because the dyes can frequently run together where each color meets. For example, if I painted a yellow background and a blue elephant, it's very possible that where the elephant and the background meet, it might turn green, since yellow and blue make green. That might actually look kind of cool, but you do want to be aware of the colors you're putting next to each other and whether or not they would mix well. Here's my final elephant. As you can see, it's still very, very wet, so I need to let it dry overnight. Once it's dry, you're ready for the final step, melting the wax off of your fabric. To do this, you'll need small pieces of newsprint, your board, and an iron. As you can see, I untaped my batik from the board once it dried, and now I've placed it face down in a newsprint sandwich. The order should be table, board, newsprint, face down batik, and newsprint. Note that you don't want to use actual newspaper for this because the newspaper ink can transfer onto your design. Now you can iron over the entire thing. You'll be able to see the wax melting into the newsprint. Keep ironing until you see all of the wax has melted. And ta-da! Here's my final batik. I hope this has inspired you to go out and make your own. Thanks for watching!